Confessions 14. O Lord my God, what induced me to dedicate my book to Hierius, the great public speaker at Rome? I had never even seen him, but I admired his brilliant reputation for learning and had been greatly struck by what I had heard of his speeches. Even more than this, I was impressed by the admiration which other people had for him. They overwhelmed him with praise because it seemed extraordinary that a man born in Syria and originally trained to speak in Greek had later become so remarkable a speaker in Latin and had also such a wealth of knowledge of the subjects studied by philosophers. We can admire persons whom we have never seen, if we hear them praised, though this does not mean that simply to hear their praises will make us admire them. But enthusiasm in one man will kindle the same fire in another, for we admire the person whose praises we hear only if we believe that they are sincerely uttered. In other words, that the person who utters them genuinely admires the man whom he praises. In those days I admired people in this way, according to the judgments I heard of them from others, not according to your judgment, my God, in whom no one is deceived. But I did not admire Hierius in the way that I might have admired a famous charioteer or a popular contestant in the amphitheatre. My feeling for him and others like him was quite different. It was something quite serious, the kind of admiration that I should have liked to win for myself. Why was this? Though I liked actors and openly admired them, I should not have wanted their fame and popularity for myself. I would rather have been entirely unknown than known in the way that they were known. I would rather have been hated than loved as they were. How can one soul contain within itself feelings so much at variance, in such conflict with each other? How does it balance them in the scale? Suppose that I like a certain quality in another man. Is it not inconsistent to loathe it in myself and reject it, since this can only mean that I detest it? Yet both of us are human beings. A man may admire a fine horse without wishing to be one himself, assuming that such a thing were possible. But with the actor the case is different, because both admirer and admired share the same nature. Can I then love in another what I should hate in myself? Though both of us are human. Man is a great mystery, Lord. You even keep count of the hairs on his head, and not one of them escapes your reckoning. Yet his hairs are more easily counted than his feelings and the emotions of his heart. But Hierius was the kind of man in whom I admired qualities that I would have been glad to possess. In my pride I was running adrift, at the mercy of every wind. You were guiding me as a helmsman steers a ship, but the course you steered was beyond my understanding. I know now and confess it as the truth that I admired Hierius more because others praised him than for the accomplishments for which they praised him. I know this because those same people, instead of praising him, might have abused him. They might have spoken of the same talents in him, but found fault with them and despised them. If they had done this, my feelings would not have been aroused, nor my admiration kindled. Yet his qualities would have been the same, and he himself would have been no different. The only difference would have been in their attitude towards him. We can see from this that the soul is weak and helpless unless it clings to the firm rock of truth. Men give voice to their opinions, but they are only opinions, like so many puffs of wind that waft the soul hither and thither and make it veer and turn. The light is clouded over and the truth cannot be seen, although it is there before our eyes. I thought it a matter of much importance to myself to bring my book and the work I had done to the notice of this great man. If he had approved of them, my fervour would have been all the more ardent. If he had found fault, my heart, which was empty and bereft of God's firm truth, would have suffered a cruel blow. Yet I found pleasure in giving my mind to the problem of beauty and proportion, the work which I had dedicated to him. Although I found no others to admire it, I was proud of it myself.